Let's get into y'all locked and loaded childcare or your mortgage. If you had to make a decision of whether or not you were going to pay your mortgage or pay childcare, which would you do? That's not to say that this article is talking about that, but since they're the same and Americans are struggling so much financially, most people are struggling financially. Since everybody's talking about how they're struggling so much when it comes to money, let's get into childcare and a mortgage. Why they cost so daggone much? All right, let me all these daggone pop-ups. No, this should be a this is a short article, so this shouldn't take that long. But childcare, I'm interested to see these numbers, what the averages are. In Maryland, childcare is well, let me not say what the average is, but just due to the houses that people have, in this area, childcare for one kid is in like the two, let's just call it $2,000 to make it simple, but it's definitely above 1,500. But it's in that $2,000 range, and you're kicking out more than 2K for your mortgage or your rent, rent or mortgage here. So in Maryland, it's not that amount, but that's for one kid. If you just want to double it and say two, average family has two kids now. I guess for people who are having kids, I would say yes, because I know it goes down. One of my friends just was telling us about their childcare situation. Their kids are about 3.5 years apart, and the youngest one costs the most. Sorry, I'm thinking as I'm talking right now, thinking out loud. I think theirs was, yeah, it's close to $1,000 a week. So yeah, yeah. If you got two kids, it probably is. So I want to see here if they're just saying, if we want to get into one kid, two kid here, parts of the country, things like that. All right, let's get into it. Childcare costs more than a mortgage payment or rent almost everywhere in the U.S. There is no escaping it. There is no escaping. You want to talk about monopoly that people need to get broken up. The daycares are not a monopoly, but they're monopolizing the price. Like, look, you either gonna pay it or you're not gonna pay it. We chose not to pay it over here. Anyways, this last updated May 15th, 2024. This is by Vanessa Wong. Here we go. Again, it's your first time tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. But the authors of these articles usually give me hell, but shout out to is that Vanessa? Not Vanessa, but Vanessa Wong. Anyways, we're spending easily 55%. 55% of our pre-tax household income on our mortgage and childcare. So when I normally we talk about spending income. Normally, when we talk about the average income or the median, whatever it is, that usually is the gross, right? Or people's pre-tax income. I believe they get that from the IRS. So it's Treasury, IRS, same thing, essentially. But when people are talking about how much money they make, things like that, most people are usually talking about their gross, but really what they're taking home and how much they have to spend. On this, no, on the pod here, on the channel here, we're not hopping between if we're talking about gross or net. We do our best to say what we're talking about to give some more clarity. I did not think this was this number. If we're talking about pre-tax income, my goodness, we were talking about on the single and married episode as far as how much it costs to live as a single person and as a married couple, family of four. And I was talking on that episode about gross versus net. Here we are talking about 55% of pre-tax household income. Remember, y'all, you only get to spend 90% of what you make. Okay, because the minimum federal tax is 10%. All right, for all the tax rates. The lowest tax rate is 10%. So you only get to spend 90%. So they spending 55 plus 10, that's six. They got 65% of their income. I know it's pre-tax, but tax is 10% of that. The 100 is gone. I said this is going to be a short episode. You guys, as I always say, you guys will know before me in the sense of you'll see the timestamp before I actually know how long this episode is, because I don't know how long it's going to be. But when it comes to childcare, there needs to be a significant conversation for couples pre-marriage when it comes to what you're going to do about the childcare situation. We decided not to pay it over here. I mean, I decided a long time ago that I wasn't going to pay it. And one of the things was like, finding someone, shout out to my wife, she stays at home with our son. She's the best. but that cost is insane. We're talking about paying another $2,000. And the way I think about childcare, everybody's situation is different, but I think from a math standpoint, it's pretty much the same for everybody. For some people, the mom stays at home, or the child to stay at home dad. It's a completely different conversation. But in short, one of the parents stays at home because the income is essentially null and void due to the daycare cost. And when you add in the fact waking up early, trying to figure out appointments, things like that. Usually, if the person who's as long as the health care for the family is not attached to the person who's going to stay at home, usually that person will end up staying at home just due to the math of the situation. A lot of people can put themselves in a situation where staying at home isn't as big as a financial impact as far as two people are working, right? Two income household going down to one income household isn't as big of an impact if they prepare for that. Most people know that they want to have kids before they have kids. Maybe not. I mean, what type of data do we have on that? But in short, most people know that they want to have kids before they have kids. And so you can start saving, maybe saving money for that situation. So if you do have to drop from a two income household to a one income household, you already have some money saved, not from a saving standpoint, as far as like emergency fund savings, but just some more money saved due to dropping from a two income household to a one income household. Let's not even talk about the principle or the fact that you already need to be operating as a one income household as far as living on one income. If you're DINK, right? Dual income, no kids. Let's talk about a married couple, right? With no kids, you already need to be living off of one income. You can still have two incomes, three streams, however many streams of income you want, but you need to already be living off of one income. One of the benefits of that is in this situation, in theory, you won't feel as much of an impact from dropping down from two incomes to one income. You'll still feel it because less money is less money, just like more money is more money, right? And I'm about to lie there. But a lot of times the issue is people are spending all their money. Let's not talk about from a pro or con standpoint, whether you're paying off debt or living on lifestyle, things like that. Outside of an investing and saving standpoint, people are spending all of their money on other things. And so when in the situation where they have to drop down from a two income to one income household, it's not just the income hit that they're feeling. They're feeling the income hit, the new child, or you got two kids now, whatever it is. Then you don't deal with the postpartum, all that type of stuff. You're also dealing with the lifestyle change, not that just comes with being a parent or a parent of two or more, but the lifestyle changed the fact that now you were spending less money. So now you can't go out as much as you used to from a dollar amount standpoint, not a time, but a dollar amount. You don't even have the money. Even if you did have the money, you don't have the time. Even if you had the money as a parent, right, you don't have a time. But let's say you did have the time, right? You got the grandkids, your parents are watching them, right? They're watching the grandkids, whatever, aunts and uncles, somebody's watching them. So even if you had the time, now you don't have the money. You're dealing with that new stress on top of the new stress of being a parent, right? All those things are being combined together at one time. All right. And that's one thing that when I say you wake up, go to work, come home, don't go on the vacations, aggressively pay off your debt, do some very extensive family planning, things of that nature. People are failing to do that. And that lack of planning on the front end ends up coming back to haunt you on the back end. That's the compound interest I talk about. So you didn't prepare, right? You didn't invest for your future. And now when you get to the future, you don't got nothing.